Yes, our kid. What's going on? United have actually won a game. It's not a drill. We won a game. And not only did we win a game, we kept a clean sheet. Who'd have thunk it? You put an actual competent goalkeeper in net and he keeps a clean sheet. And it wasn't a case of Sunderland didn't have any shots. Sunderland had shots. He made saves. He made claims. Was he perfect? No, because there was that incident where they give it as an offside, right? And he's come out and clattered him. It's the exact same as what Sanchez did in a Chelsea game. So I was thinking, Christ, it looked like it was in the box as well. It obviously gets ruled out. They give an offside. But if it was offside, why was the offside given at the edge of the box? Didn't understand that, but we take it. And he had a couple of opportunities where he was coming out, not just off his line, but to the edge and out of the box, showing us that he can play off both feet, pulled off a couple of decent saves. He looked a little bit shaky the first few minutes and the first few times he was getting the ball played back to him, but we'll take that. I'm happy for him. Like he's come in, he's kept a clean sheet. He's had to work for it as well with some of the saves that he's made. And at one point we thought we were getting a penalty as well, didn't we? Luckily that got overturned. But there we go. An actual decent goalkeeper. The first time we have Lammens in net, we actually keep the first clean sheet of the season. Is it a coincidence? Honestly, I don't think it is. No, I think it's related. I do. There were some other good performances. For me, I thought Mason Mount was probably United's best player. I thought everything he was doing was positive. There was energy. There was quality. Obviously, he opened the scoring. That's always a nice thing to do. And scoring early probably set the tone for the game because you could see, even in those first opening exchanges, Sunderland were coming to keep it tight. After United got the second, they made a change. They changed the shape and they tried to slow us down a little bit further. So, if they'd have got the first goal, they would have absolutely locked it down. And I guess after the second, that attempt to slow us down literally slowed us down because we didn't manage to score another, even though we had opportunities to do so. I'm still not happy with Bruno Casemiro as a midfield, but it worked today. Or did it work today? It didn't hinder us, I think it'd be safe to say. I thought Casemiro shown his maturity at times, and there was some times when the decision-making of the pass was what was required. And his passing wasn't perfect, and his decision-making actually wasn't perfect, especially with the yellow. You knew he was getting that late in the game, didn't you? But there were some times when he just did the sensible, the calming it down thing, and you could just tell his experience in the game. I thought it was poor and erratic again from Bruno. Maybe a signal of things to come when we saw him moved up into the number 10 position a little bit later on in the game. But if we go through the team, I thought Dalot was a solid performance like he always does, very just reliable. Leny Yoro looked good in spells. There was a couple of iffy passes when he tried to switch it, but other than that, defended really well. Sesko, one shot, one kill, no luck, all skill. It was a decent chance that he had. Unfortunately, it was the only shot I think he got off. Pretty sure it was the only shot that he got off. But he manages to score a goal, and you can't ask for more than that. So that was nice to see from Sesko. United did create chances in this game. Mbuemo probably should have done better with the one where he was played through and he enters the box and then just puts it high and wide. He was a threat, but there was a bit... First half, he was dangerous and quality, and by far and away, I thought United's biggest threat. Second half, he faded quite significantly, I would say. And it made sense, actually, why he ended up getting the hook a little bit later on in the game. What worries me still is the wing-backs in the game, because I thought what Ahmad's contribution was okay, but his body language was a bit off, and I can't work out how you improve that position. Like I said, he was okay, but there was things that weren't quite coming off for him, and he looked like really, really frustrated. I don't know if it was just, knock-on effect from losing the family member he lost last week, knock-on effect from the position, knock-on effect from how the season's going. I don't know, but I could tell that he was cutting about quite frustrated. When anything didn't go off, he looked a little bit emotional about it. On the other side, Dalot. It was just poor, wasn't it? Like clinically poor. It was almost everything he did just went wrong. His touch weren't happening. He'd try and do a trick and fall over near enough. Like, his crossing was bad, his passing was bad, his decision making was bad. It was just bad. It was a real poor showing, I thought, from Dalot. I thought as a team United did okay, but I still think it's too flat in terms of the shape. There's no depth to United's shape. You could almost argue there's no shape to United's shape. It seems like it is a forward line of 7 or it is a back line of 7. There doesn't seem to be any like nuance or like balance to what we're doing. And there's still no control. And I think the lack of control is the thing that worries me the most. I feel like we're going to continue getting sporadic results until we can elicit a level of control in a game. Now, obviously, we've got a 2-week break. Anfield is our next run out. How sweet would it be for our first back-to-back Premier League victories under Ruben Amorim to start at Anfield? You could argue it's too little too late, and some people probably will argue it's too little too late, and that's fine, they can do that. But I think that would be real nice for us to do, because Liverpool have been poor. As I record this, they've just kicked off against Chelsea, so they could slip to 3 in a row. They could bounce back with a victory today, or they could draw. It could be either of those things from here on in. But they're not in good form regardless. Even if they pick up a really good, strong performance today against Chelsea, they're not in good form. It's an opportunity there for United. Liverpool will take the ball and put United on the back foot. And United have got an opportunity to play on the counter in that game. And I think some of our players really suit it. You can start to see that we are trying certain things like that. You can see as Sesko goes up for the ball, as it's played directly to him, you see Mbuemo already starting to make that run. And after Mbuemo went off, Cunha did it a couple of times, or at least tried to do it a couple of times. So there are patterns emerging, but there's still that lack of control, because I feel like any opportunity it gets, that midfield pivot just bombs into the final third. At no point do you see them just go, we'll wait here. We'll just patrol this area. We can stop a counter-attack here. We can also recycle the ball and take it from the left to the right and then take it from the right to the left. Like, we don't have like sustained periods of possession. Even when the opposition's been pushed all the way back into their final third, I don't see that controlling ability. And our playing out is fucking non-existent at the moment. It's just smash it over the halfway line, isn't it? And we'll try and win it a little bit higher up than that. That doesn't feel sustainable. And that's the worry that I still have. But we're not ending this on a negative. It is 3 points. That's what we wanted. It is a clean sheet. That's absolutely sensational. I think Lammens comes away from this going, okay, I've got a game under my belt. Buzzing. Probably won't play on international duty for obvious reasons. But I do think he has to keep his place at Anfield. And if today was a confidence builder, getting absolutely smashettoed at Anfield could be a confidence killer. But I saw enough in terms of shot stopping today that I would be comfortable with it. And not just shot stopping, sweeping, claiming crosses. Yeah, it wasn't perfect. There was still a little bit shakiness, but I think you're allowed that on your debut. But I would absolutely stick with him for Anfield. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. Take it easy. Back in the morning, out on a hike. If you want to come and join me for that, come do so. And then after that, we've got 5 things and player ratings. Have a good weekend, everyone. We've got 3 points. United didn't ruin our weekend this weekend. And next weekend is no game. So they won't ruin next weekend's either. The weekend after, we'll deal with that in a bit, all right? Take it easy. See you in a bit.